Oikos is a multiplication element. You know, you take one person and you multiply by 8 to 15. That's how the kingdom of God grew so quickly in the ancient world, because it was exponentially growing. Mm-hmm. Oikos is an exponential idea, but many churches are not exponential in their culture. And so people don't make the connection. Their church has been built for them, and we tell them to go out and get the lost or share with the lost. I love Apollos watered. We're just watering. I mean, we're just investing. What God does, God does. But to be a part of that is pretty cool. And so it is a matter of building our structures at church to reflect what we're trying to get them to do. And one of the key things is to slim down, brothers and sisters, because fat happens. It happens to our bodies and it happens to our churches. When did anybody, I'm 66, I was 45 years old, skinny as a rail. My wife is a gourmet cook. She actually would say, I may die trying, but I'm going to put weight on you, Tom. And I used to laugh at that. And I just consumed all her food. But my metabolism was such, I was so, my body was so active naturally that I never gained weight. And then all of a sudden, bro, 45 happened.
Don't tell me that, because I'm 45 right now.
Okay. Watch out.
It's already there. You mentioned your wife my wife's trying to get me to do the opposite. So lose weight.
How hard is it to gain weight? It is easy. That's
easy.
why churches have. It's easy to add programs. It's easy to add emphases. It's easy to add initiatives. And we add. How hard is it to slim down? Physically. It's hard. It takes discipline. Mm-hmm. And for a church to slim down so they can focus on the Great Commission is hard. It's hard work. And when I started to share this, it has been like 12 years ago now, probably. I presented this idea to somebody outside of High Desert Church. Nobody ever asked. I never wanted to write a book, Travis. Now I've written 3. I never wanted to write books. I came to the High Desert because I'm an introvert. Nobody will bother me up here. And so the church begins to grow, and then people start to ask questions like, can you come down and present that principle to our gathering? And so I went down and I presented the principle, to them. And, then they said, do you have a book? Or, and then it all kind of snowballed on me. But I had no aspirations ever. I still don't. People ask me, are you going to write on some other subject? I say, why would I? There are better people than me to write on that subject. I mean, there are experts on those things. But when it comes to this idea, I don't know if there is a more succinct, a more simple, a more clear, a more honest presentation of how the church just needs to slim down and refocus on those 8 to 15 people sitting in our front row seats. And what Win Arn lacked 50 years ago was a laboratory. Now, Charles Arn is Win's son. He's a Wesleyan professor at Indiana Wesleyan University. And Chip is his nickname, so he goes by Chip. Anyway, Chip and I are good friends now. And he said, we talked about his dad, and we talked about his heart for the Oikos principle. And he said, Tom, Chip said to me, because I never met Arn personally. I was actually sitting at my desk, and I got an email from Chip Arn thanking me for mentioning his dad in my first book, 8 to 15, The World is Smaller Than You Think. And so that's what started our friendship. I now have gotten to know Chip pretty well, never even met Arn. But he said, Tom, what you've been able to do now in the evolution of this idea is you've had a church that has been completely willing to allow you to be a mad scientist in a laboratory and figure out church structures that will facilitate an outward focused vision, which every pastor wants. I mean, not that first category. I don't know what those guys are doing, but every church I grew up in said, go share Christ with your friends. And nobody ever did because they didn't know how.